can take that up and keep it going. That's a true leader.
As a city council member, how would you feel about moving the meeting time?
Oh, I'm all for it. I'm going to tell you why. Because I've been to so many land use control board meetings, I have been to city council meetings, and people aren't able to get to these meetings because either they're too early in the morning or usually that's what it is. They're too early. Most people have to work. You have to look at communities that have seniors within those communities. They're not able to get down there in a timely fashion if they have to get someone to take them down there. You have to look at if you're working. I have had the opportunity of flexibility. So I can do what I need to do to take care of my issues within my community. However, everyone does not have that opportunity. So I think that changing the time would be appropriate for the issues that are concerning the residents of the city of Memphis.
So right now, when you talk about changing the time, right now the city council meeting is usually at 3:30, and then those committee meetings start like what, 9 in the morning and run all day. So what would you envision?
Okay, now you can either do one or two things. We either could look at, and they may not even like this, but committee meetings for a particular time frame, early enough, maybe 10, 11, possibly up until about 2 or 3. Maybe not have your meeting on the same day. Have it on a separate day in the week so that people are able to attend those meetings that are actually concerning their issues. Now, if they do the committee meetings, they can continue to keep them, but shorten up the committee meeting time and start them either at an earlier time, 1 o'clock in the meeting, so people can get there during lunch, or look at how their issues are based on their response from their community residents, what needs to be heard when, so that their individuals can get there to address their issues and concerns. So you got to be flexible on time.
What is your opinion regarding consolidation?
In theory, I'm for it. I mean, I think I really have no problem with it. Here's where I have a problem. Currently, we have an issue with parents being involved in schools. How is that going to solve that problem? That's not going to solve it easily. So those schools that are already having problems, consolidation is no more than just everybody under one umbrella. So within consolidation, there needs to be a plan of action on how to involve the schools and the parents in the school, not just the administrative piece. You got to drop it all the way down to our school level and the parents. Consolidation, even as in the city government, it's a transition that's long process. It's not going to happen overnight. Unfortunately, it happened quicker than most probably wanted. And there's a lot of thought that has to go into that process so that we do not affect our children. People have to understand, too, this is a money thing. At the end of the day, we try to figure out how to rearrange the money. Who's going to do what? How is it going to be taken care of? How are we going to protect our teachers? But at the end of the day, how are we not going to affect our children so they can continue to have the high level of education as they should be given with or without consolidation? That shouldn't change.
What is your opinion regarding the interaction between the current Memphis City School Board and the current City Council? Do you have any opinion on that? Do you see any room for improvement? And as a City Council member, how would you, just your opinion?
I see a room for improvement. I do. I think the two have been separate in decision-making processes. I think there needs to be more of a togetherness in communication. Not saying that there hasn't been. But
as a city council member, how would you facilitate that?
Well, hopefully we'll bring everyone to the table. Just as the mayor and the superintendent get together, the bodies of each one of those boards need to come together and sit around the table.
So you think the city council, all members of the city council and all members of the school board need to meet on a regular basis? Or
at least once a quarter, or twice a year. Nothing real. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we're all busy and we have all issues amongst us. But I think in order to keep the communication flowing, at least twice a year possibly, so that you'll understand what's going on, what are the issues, so that when you're coming before the city council, we have already addressed a lot of this. And it's not a surprise to the city council that this is happening. So let's talk it out, good or bad, so that when it's brought to the city council or when it's discussed with city council chambers, we already know what's going on, and we've already kind of made our decisions, and we just need to continue to talk it out so that these decisions will, it somehow will impact our community. So we need to find out if this is going to be a good decision or a bad decision, or we're just split on the decision. What do we need to do? And I think that communication needs to happen. If it hasn't happened, it needs to happen. And it needs to happen probably, like I said, once or twice a year at least, so that you'll know what's going on, especially during this transition time. You got to get to talking to know what's going to happen.
You said you're an accountant. Have you had a chance to pore over the city budget yet and have any opinion regarding the way funds are spent?
I've looked at it a little bit. I am not going to sit here and say I've looked at all of it. But like anything else, I think you can reallocate much, much better. You could do things differently. I don't have any real concrete examples, but I'm sure if I really took that time and went through everything, you could find a lot of things that you could not skimp on, but you can shorten so that you can allocate elsewhere to fund some other type of program and give up on this end and help. I mean, because it's creative. At the end of the day, it's creative solutions. And what you're doing today may not necessarily need to be done the next time. Every year there should be a change, and not doing the same thing over again, but change it up. So I believe once I looked at it, yeah, it would be quite a bit of difference of what I would find in it that I would change, because that's what I deal with every day. I have to find ways, working with the state, I have to find ways to be creative when they cut our funding. You know, we got cut significantly, and even this year I've gotten cut. So I have to find ways to, I can't fund all the students going to California, but what can we do to assist those students who want to go? So maybe we do a 50-50 split, or 25-50, 25-75, whatever.
Where do you work?
University of Memphis.
Okay.
The Earthquake Center.
Okay, cool. As an accountant then?
Yes, I'm actually the assistant director of the Earthquake Center, the administration and finance part.
Okay.
And prior to that, I did work in grants and contracts accounting.
Okay.
So I handled all the grants and contracts for the university.
Wow.
Sponsored research. We was about 5 of us in the office, but we got all the money coming through, and we had to make sure that we were in compliance.
Was that all research? You mean human research, or just all your research?
All sponsored research.
All sponsored research.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was either came through NSF, DOE, oh God,
Yeah, there's a
USGS, all of them.
Right.
Federal,
Right.
non-federal,
Oh,
state.
that's a lot of contracts to juggle.
It's a
man.
lot
And then
of
make sure they're following the contracts.
Yeah,
That's
to make sure
it.
they're following the contracts, making sure everybody's in compliance, making
Mhm.
sure they're not spending where they shouldn't spend. Oh, that's always a challenge.
Right, right, definitely.
So what are the strengths that you think you would bring to the board?
I believe my strength of communication is very important to bring that to the board. I believe my education is a strength because of the varied opportunities that I've had. I can look at various opportunities in different ways. I believe those are very important strengths that I bring to the board.
And can you talk a little bit about how your leadership on city council would differ from what's previously been done in District 4?
Probably, my leadership would probably be more in-your-face type. I want to affect change, so that means I'm a motivator. I'm out there, I'm talking, I'm trying to figure out what we need to do. Come on, tell me what's going on. For example, we're looking at the Handy Theater. Well, you know, that's sitting there for a while, but someone has to take that mantle up and say, what can we do with it? And I've had the opportunity to deal with University of Memphis, and we actually may do something with the old Handy Theater. But that came from someone saying, I want to do that. So as far as leadership, I'm a motivator. I want to get you up. I want to get you thinking. I want you to tell me what you want done, and I'm going to show you ways that we can get it done. That's what my role on the council would be, is to basically get you what you need. But I need you to work with me in order to get that done.